The European Commission announces the launch of a new humanitarian aid package for Syria worth €235 million. And Russia and Iran discuss bilateral relations and international issues and sign a comprehensive strategic partnership treaty in Moscow. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. More than 100 Palestinians, including children and women, were killed and dozens injured in a series of raids launched by the Israeli occupation forces on Gaza Strip since the ceasefire was announced, which will go into effect next Sunday. Meanwhile, the European Union announced the provision of a humanitarian aid package to Gaza during the current year worth €120 million. The president of the European Commission said the agreement between Israel and Hamas gives the region much-needed hope, but the humanitarian situation in Gaza remains bleak, adding that aid will be allocated to food, water, healthcare, sanitation support, and assistance with shelters. On the other hand, relief organizations said that they intend to expand their humanitarian operations in Gaza Strip once the ceasefire goes into effect. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization representative in the Palestinian territories, Rick Peppercorn, said that rebuilding a health system in Gaza Strip requires at least $10 billion over the coming years. The organization's representative explained that an initial assessment showed that more than $3 billion are needed during the first year and a half and $10 billion over 5 to 7 years to meet the huge needs. The organization's Director General, Tedros Adhanom, confirmed that less than half of Gaza's hospitals are not operating, calling on Israel to respect the ceasefire agreement before entering into force. The European Commissioner for Preparedness, Crisis Management and Equality, Hajj al-Habib, announced from Damascus the launch of a new humanitarian aid package dedicated to Syria and neighboring countries worth €235 million. After meeting with the leader of the new Syrian administration, Ahmed al-Shara, the European Commissioner said in a press conference that the launch of humanitarian aid will contribute to providing basic needs like shelter, food, clean water, health services, and education in emergency situations. The presidents of Russia and Iran opened their talks in the Kremlin today before signing a broad cooperation pact. The Kremlin said that the comprehensive strategic partnership treaty to be signed by Russian President Vladimir Putin and his Iranian counterpart, Masoud Pezeshkian, covers all areas from trade and military cooperation to science, education, and culture. The signing comes ahead of the January 20 inauguration of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, who has pledged to broker peace in Ukraine and take a tougher stance on Iran, which is grappling with growing economic problems and other challenges, including military setback in its sphere of influence across the Middle East. Ukrainian air defense downed 33 of 50 drones launched by Russia early today. The Ukrainian Air Force said in a report today that 9 drones were lost, in reference to Ukraine's use of electronic warfare to redirect Russian drones, while 1 drone left Ukraine in the direction of Romania. It said that hostile attack drones hit enterprises in Odessa region and buildings of institutions, private businesses, and households in Kharkiv, Cherkasy, and Kyiv regions were damaged as a result of the fall of downed drones. The report added that port infrastructure in the Danube region came under attack. A Kyiv regional official said 1 child was wounded as a result of falling debris from downed targets during an attack. Firefighters across the Los Angeles area and Southern California are taking advantage of favorable weather conditions to combat the wildfires, according to a battalion chief, while warning that containment efforts remain challenging. With the easing of gusty winds and a drop in temperatures, responders began gaining the upper hand against massive wildfires yesterday. It has been over a week since the massive wildfires broke out in Los Angeles, fueled by hurricane-strength Santa Ana winds, causing some of the most catastrophic fire scenes California has ever witnessed. The fierce wildfires have so far killed at least 27 people and destroyed more than 12,300 structures, according to local authorities. Up to 200,000 people have been displaced by the fires, and as of Wednesday, some 82,400 residents were under evacuation orders, and another 90,400 faced evacuation warnings, according to Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna. Still to come in our news bulletin. A marine parade in Muscat Governorate marks the occasion of His Majesty the Sultan assuming power in the country. Muscat Governorate organized a marine parade on the occasion of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq assuming the reins of power in the country. The parade started from Jumeirah Muscat Bay Resort, passed through the wilayas of Matrah and Bowsher, and finally arrived at Al Moj Muscat Marina in the wilaya of Sib. The event attracted around 400 people and about 70 boats, yachts, and jet skis. The marine parade seeks to highlight tourism components and natural landscapes in the Governorate of Muscat. The event was held under the patronage of His Excellency Sayyid Saud bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Governor of Muscat. The Royal Court Affairs celebrated the graduation of the 19th batch of new recruits at the Military Training and Rehabilitation Center of the Royal Court Affairs Security Unit. The celebration was organized under the auspices of His Excellency Engineer Uday bin Hilal Al-Ma'wali, head of the Medical City for Military and Security Services. At the beginning of the ceremony, the graduates performed the military salute. Then the chief guest inspected the Guard of Honor. The graduates then staged a military parade by marching in slow motion accompanied with the musical band. Then the chief guest distributed appreciation certificates to the distinguished graduates. After that, the graduates chanted the national anthem, took the oath of loyalty, and chanted thrice, "Long live His Majesty the Sultan, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces." The first camel race organized by the Oman Camel Racing Federation was launched this year at the Hema Field in Al-Wusta Governorate. The race attracted the participation of 120 camels from various wilayas of the governorate. At the end of the event, winners of camel racing competitions were honored by the guest of honor. The ceremony was held under the patronage of His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Ali Al Ghufayli, Wali of Hema. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here's a recap of our main headlines. Several Palestinians are killed and wounded in Israeli raids on Gaza, and the World Health Organization confirms that restoring the health system in the Strip requires over $10 billion. The European Commission announced the launch of a new humanitarian aid package for Syria worth €235 million. And Russia and Iran discuss bilateral relations and international issues and sign a comprehensive strategic partnership treaty in Moscow. With that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, enjoy your weekend, and until next time.